Williams gliding in out of control.
In this building.
Yeah, and like I said, hey, when you've had games that you've been
Immediate double on a jump. Finley, Bizjet. Rejected, no foul. Nova in his freshman year. 9 to shoot. Carroll fires. And only 12 seconds. It's Carroll. Another throw. Tre Carroll, one of the best creators in the league. Step back three. Just like
going to work, of course, unless you're Tre Carroll.
Prey on Carroll. Carroll step back three over the 7-footer, and he hit. Carroll with a wide open lane, and he got it.
been even more than Greg McDermott was hoping for.
And we're here at the Renaissance Hotel for the 72nd annual Portsmouth Invitational. I am Stephen Bagell from the Center Hub. I am joined by Xavier forward, obviously Big East. I wore the shirt intentionally. First teamer Tre Carroll. Tre, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, you were one of the first players when we saw the Portsmouth roster came out that I said I really wanted to, sit down and talk with. Because a lot of the time when like you played 4 years at FAU, then you played this last year at Xavier. A lot of the times when guys, for lack of a better term, scale up to a higher major from, I know FAU, you guys went to Final Four, so yeah. I don't want to call you a mid-major, but usually guys go to high major and they play a role, they're scalable. You went high major to Xavier, played in Big East, and it sort of unlocked your game a little bit, and you had career numbers across the board. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I've always known I could play at the highest level my whole entire life. It was just about opportunity and really just putting my head down and being in the gym countless hours, sacrificing time away from my wife, my dog, to really just putting hard work in. And when I went into the transfer portal, I wanted to go somewhere where they're going to take care of me financially and basketball-wise and help me, better set for me for my future.
Yeah.
And Xavier gave me all the analytical standpoints of what I needed to work better on, what they're capable of giving to me, how their resources can help me become the better person I want to be and the better player that I want to be. And obviously with the season I had, having multiple career highs in every aspect, winning, huge games for Xavier, playing on national media attention every night, playing in front of scouts. I don't think that's something I could have had at FAU, honestly, because, we're not playing on ESPN or True TV or CBS every night. Most of our games on ESPN Plus, which you need a subscription for.
Yeah.
And, just being able to have that platform and showcase what I could really do on a basketball court and help a team win, really, truly, I'm really grateful for the opportunity. And obviously I want to be in the PIT if I didn't showcase what I was able to do in front of, thousands of scouts.
So that's actually a perfect segue into my next question. My next question was, obviously we're here at PIT. What do you want to, focus on to show NBA teams? And you played yesterday as well. We're recording this on day 2 just for perspective. Your team's currently 1-0.
Yep.
So what do you feel like, you need to show scouts? And what do you feel like through the first game you played, what you've already shown them?
I think the scouts know I'm a very good scorer. But not just a scorer, I'm a very efficient scorer. I shoot the ball at a really good level. I can rebound, I can pass, I can, take people off the dribble. I can shot fake, use pivots. I'm good at reading mismatches. Obviously, they know I can score the ball at a high level, but, I need to show I'm capable of playing one-on-one defense consistently. Throughout this year at Xavier, I was able to show, I had flashes of, locking down when was needed.
Yeah.
But wasn't able to do it on a consistent basis. So I'm really just I've really, in this offseason, have really worked on, more lateral movement, just getting quicker on my feet, being able to read and react way better. Because obviously my help side defense and reading passing lanes, I'm very good at. It's just the one-on-one aspect that I think is the most thing I need to prove so far. And I think I showcased that a little bit yesterday, try to not get beat off the dribble, really just, force hard shots. If they go in, they go in. But the key is, force a hard shot and don't let them get to the basket real easily. Try not to foul. And obviously, I think I showed a little bit of that, but I'm just excited to showcase more of that because I'm not really worried about the scoring standpoint. Obviously, we have so much talent here that scoring is just another number.
Yeah.
So scouts, everybody knows here, you can score the ball. What else can you do?
Yeah.
But I think, you know, defense will be a high thing for me, and just showing them my motor, honestly. Like, I wear every jersey I wear with pride. You know, I was only with Xavier for 1 year, but I wore that jersey with so much pride and respect for the school. I cried the last time I wore a Xavier uniform because it meant the world to me to wear it. And this could possibly be the last jersey I wear here in the PIT, so I'm gonna wear it with a lot of pride and show these scouts like what I'm capable of doing as a basketball player and as a person.
So my next question was going to be, what do you feel like you could show? You know, what maybe skill do you possess that you think is going to pop more at the pro level than maybe it did either at FAU or Xavier? You might have just answered it.
I think it's my motor.
Okay.
I think it's my motor and just my willingness not to quit. You know, we were down by 9 yesterday, and I think my motor just turned up a notch where it was like, hey, you guys are not going to win this game. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to get it done. We're going to win it. You're not. And, you know, just having that charisma, that fight, that willingness to compete at all the time, you know, fighting through fatigue. I haven't played a real basketball game since we lost at UConn.
Yeah.
So just showing, you know, the willingness to fight with, you know, guys you never really played with before, but you know, and just being able to come together as a group and collectively and win, you know, put aside your selfishness for the team.
Yeah.
And just, you know, because we want to go 3-0 in this tournament. You know, this could be the last thing I win in college basketball. So I want to go 3-0. I know these guys want to go 3-0, but I think my most valuable skill is my motor.
So going off of that, this is actually my either 4th or my 5th year in a row coming to Portsmouth and, you know, interviewing a lot of participants like yourself. And a common theme I've noticed is, like, you guys come here, you have maybe one practice with the teammates, and you go into a game. How difficult is that sometimes, you know, to literally, I don't know when you flew in here, but I'm assuming it was a couple, you know.
Yeah.
But you had probably 1 or 2 practices and then just got thrown into the game with guys you never really played with before. So what's that adjustment like?
I mean, when you play basketball your life, there's not really an adjustment you can make because you're just used to playing pickup all the time with guys you probably don't even know. So, you know, we just came together. We were like, listen, we're gonna try and go 3-0, put your selfishness aside and just do whatever you need to do for the team. And we were able to do that. And I think we got a great group of guys that really care about winning, really care about having, you know, being competitive, you know, because this is basically a job interview too for your next job, not only for the NBA, but you know, overseas too. So, you know, I personally don't view it as a challenge. You know, I think it's just another opportunity that we get to have to play basketball one more time because you never know, this could be the final time we stop playing. Yeah. So I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be here.
So just to give a little context about your background, I know you grew up in Florida. You played the 4 years at FAU. Obviously, during your time at FAU, there was that 2023, was it, the Final Four run?
Yep.
2023 Final Four run for Dusty May, who I was going to say ironically, but probably not ironically because he's one of the best in the game, just went to another Final Four and won a national championship.
Yep.
What maybe you need to look at a little hindsight, I would say, because, I mean, what's your biggest takeaway in terms of playing for a coach like Dusty May?
You know, playing for Dusty May, I really got to see what hard work really truly means. Like, seeing it through, you know, the guys that were starting and the rotational guys, really seeing, like, what it takes to be the hardest worker in the gym, be the first one in, the last one out. You know, what it takes to compete at the highest level. Yeah. It ain't easy. And just having a coach that, you know, believes in you, trusts in you, and just wants to win with you. Like, he doesn't care about winning the coach of the year or anything like that. He just wants to win with this group of guys. And obviously we made it all the way to the Final Four because of a lot of it because of him, but mostly because of what we did together as a group. Yeah. You know, we put our selfish needs aside, and we were like, hey, we need to win for the team. Like, we got to do what we got to do for the team. And won a 20-game win streak. You know, lost against UAB at their place. It was rocking over there. You know, lost against Middle Tennessee at their place, and then we won out the rest of the year until the Final Four. So we really showed, you know, the nation what we're capable of when you put your selfish needs aside. And he just did that with Michigan again. You know, very unselfish team. Didn't care who scored the ball. You know, a lot of his sets is what he ran at FAU. Like I could recognize it. And, you know, him switching 1 through 4, sometimes with the 5, he's a very smart-minded coach, and he loves playing in those mismatch operations. He loves running getting fast breaks in like 6 seconds, see if we can get a quick shot. If not, run a set or just play freely. And, you know, he's definitely a player's coach and one of the best in the game, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. So your dad was a Super Bowl champion NFL defensive end.
Yeah.
Who's the best athlete and I know your mom was, I think I saw a 1,000-point scorer in high school.
Yeah.
Who's the best athlete in the family?
It's me.
Okay, good answer.
I just got to go win an NBA championship.
Well, there's no doubt
Well,
you're going to
I
do
technically have more championships than both my mom and my dad combined. You know, I got a district championship, I got a regional championship,
that. There you go.
I got a conference championship, regular season championship, and I got a national regional championship. And my dad only has a Super Bowl, so I think I'm the best athlete in the family.
Okay.
So I think I got him beat, but I go to the pros and get me a championship. But obviously, when I get to the pros, whether that be the NBA, the G League, overseas, you know, I'm gonna put my best foot forward. You know, I'm just looking for an opportunity to get my foot in the door, and whatever team takes me, they're gonna get the hardest worker they've ever seen. You know, someone that does not play around. You know, someone who really takes their craft seriously. Someone who doesn't have a bad character at all. Is married already. Understands the responsibilities of finance, you know, managing, setting aside for your taxes, you know, really providing for your family and like sacrificing what you need to do rather than what you want to do.
Okay. You said you have a dog with your wife?
I do.
What kind of dog?
She's a Doberman.
Okay. I have a Bichon Shih Tzu.
Nice.
So a little bit smaller. But okay. Well, future NBA champion, Tre Carroll, Big East first team. Obviously at Xavier. Again, I'm from Philly, so I had the opportunity to cover you at Villanova this year.
Yep.
So, and you at Big East Media Day, right? Yep. I think we talked there. But again, 72nd Annual Portsmouth Invitational. I'm Stephen Bagell. This is Tre Carroll. Follow along for the journey, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.